So, hi everyone, my name is Junique. I'm a part of the marketing team as well as everybody else on here. And we're going to be discussing what does effective marketing look like in 2026. So, Deja, Sam, Victor, and Ava and I will all be discussing different topics about what does really like good marketing look like right now. Things have been shifting. We have different key players now in marketing now. We got AI. But how do all these things just really help a brand build? And how it can come together. So for the first one, we are going to go over branding. So who's next?
Hi, everyone. So I'll just be discussing a little bit about brand and fan-powered growth and about community and how important it is in marketing. So marketing in 2026 really isn't just about ads or influencers or paid campaigns anymore. It's all about community and, more importantly, fan-powered growth. So brands used to control the narrative. They built campaigns, they bought media space and pushed messaging outward. Everything was very structured, and now growth travels from person to person. So you're looking at things from conversation to conversation, network to network, and it's all about participation, not so much promotion. And fans are shaping the perception, they're creating trends, and they decide what becomes cultural at the end of the day. So branding is what makes that shift possible. So branding today isn't just about a logo or a color palette or a tagline. Branding answers deeper questions like who is this for? What does it signal? And what identity does it really support? And strong branding fits into how people already see themselves or how they aspire to be seen. So people don't just promote products, they're really promoting their identity. And when a brand aligns with an identity, whether that's productivity culture, wellness, or music, or luxury or everyday things that we are doing, it stops just being a product and it becomes a symbol. And symbols spread a lot faster than advertisements ever could. So when people feel connected to a brand, not just as customers, but as participants, they stop being passive consumers and become active contributors. So they are posting about it in their routines, they're featuring it in their aesthetics or their day in the life on TikTok. They debate it in the Reddit threads, they hype it in Discord servers, and most importantly, they defend it when someone else criticizes it. And that's not advertising, that's ownership. And ownership only happens when branding creates real emotional investment. So we look at brands like Stanley and Awala and how they went so viral on TikTok, and they didn't just go viral, they became embedded in lifestyle culture. So you were seeing fans integrate them into everyday routines like morning vlogs, gym content, or even just sitting on their desk while they're filming a Get Ready With Me. The comments are talking about the new color that dropped from the water bottles. The Reddit threats are talking about the aesthetic, and the group chats are being hyped by limited releases. So the community really built the momentum around the product and around the branding. And we're seeing the exact same shift in things like music. Artists don't just blow up because of label budgets anymore. They grow because community forms first. So fans are remixing their sounds, Discord servers are dissecting unreleased tracks, Reddit threads are debating drops or Easter eggs that they're seeing on their social pages, and edits can circulate before official campaigns even launch. So all this is being talked about before the music is even dropping, and the trust gets built before promotion even starts. And when that trust exists, even a casual mention or a small moment in time can really drive massive attention. And we're also seeing artists build tighter circles using Instagram broadcast channels, close friends lists, subscriber only group chats. When fans get early announcements, inside access, and direct messages, those spaces feel personal and authentic. And that is what they want from branding and from companies. They want to feel exclusive, and that exclusivity builds loyalty, and that's what brands are looking for. So when fans are inside those spaces, they don't just listen, they're advocating for the brand, they're defending, and they're recruiting. The culture spreads socially now. So it's building spaces where people gather, and because they are in 2026, brands that win aren't just the loudest, they're the clearest. So clear branding, clear identity, and clear community, because attention is rented, but belonging is owned. And once people feel like they belong to something, they don't just support it, they build it. And that's really the shift we're seeing across marketing and culture right now. It's less about pushing messages outward and more about building spaces where people actually want to participate.
Definitely, that was a really good point. And this makes a really good segue into social media and how social media also builds communities as well.
Hello, my name is Deja, and I'm going to be talking about the social media aspect. So, I think one of the most interesting shifts in marketing surrounding social media is how it's no longer promotional, it's infrastructural. And if we think of marketing as a car. Social media isn't just the horn. It's not an add-on part. It's the engine. It's what keeps the brand's presence moving forward and running. And brands that treat socials as a secondary part are going to unfortunately fall behind, while those who leverage it as a core strategy are going to shape to audience perception in real time. So traditionally, we know marketing has relied heavily on PR, so press placements, media interviews, agencies controlling narratives. But today, social media allows brands to operate in a direct-to-consumer model. We don't have to wait for coverage. We can control the narrative, the distribution, and the messaging instantly. And once you control the distribution, the next step is awareness. So social media expands the top of the funnel in a way that's immediate and measurable. But awareness isn't just about being seen, it's about being relatable. So, content that resonates emotionally, culturally, or humorously, that's going to spread and it's going to spread organically. And every share is going to become peer to peer marketing, which carries far more weight than traditional advertising because it comes with social proof. But awareness is not alone enough. So engagement is what's really going to separate passive viewers from invested participants. So likes, replies, comments, quote tweets, these interactions are going to signal attention and investment. And engagement is going to fuel growth because algorithms, they like to amplify content that sparks dialogue. So in 2026, you don't want to just reach people, you want to invite them to take part in a brand experience, which is essentially what we do on socials. We're selling experience, right? We want to, whether that's an aesthetic lifestyle on Pinterest or Instagram, or a more informative, or personal touch on Twitter or LinkedIn. But just to go back to engagement, when engagement scales, it naturally builds community, just like Sam talked about. So platforms like Funktasy Unmuted and our pop culture community on Twitter, they're transforming our audiences from observers into participants. So you want to create a space that builds, fosters, and forges authentic connections, which is crucial because marketing success today is measured by a brand's ability to foster these communities and these ecosystems. And that connection is going to drive loyalty and long-term growth. And fans expect authenticity. Social media removes barriers between brands and audiences, deepening relationships. And emotional proximity is going to drive streams, ticket sales, participation, and advocacy. So social media marketing isn't just about creating that visibility, it's about creating that emotional investment. And social media also helps us establish a voice, an identity, whether we decide to be professional, funny, conversational, culturally reactive, that's our freedom to do so. But you do want to be a little bit careful. You want to be consistent, as consistency builds recognition and it humanizes the brand. So brands that feel like personalities, not faceless corporations, they're the ones that are going to perform the best. So, for example, if you look at brands like Wendy's or Duolingo, their social presence is definitely unorthodox, but their distinctive voice and personality is what keeps audiences coming back. But essentially, brand personality combined with content distribution and community engagement opens the door to monetization and measurable outcomes. So social media isn't just about awareness, it's a conversion engine. It drives podcast listeners, community participation, demo submissions, and other actionable results. So awareness leads to engagement, engagement builds community, community creates loyalty, and loyalty drives sustainable growth. And that's the social media ecosystem that drives effective marketing in 2026.
That was great. And much like how um, social media really gets to like break down those barriers between audiences and brands, they also allow the brand to connect globally. And now this will move on to global marketing.
Hello guys, thank you, Unique. So I will talk about now global marketing, but first let's have a brief overview of it because it is actually different from global branding, even though people often confuse these two. So first, global marketing, it is the action. It is actually how the brand adapts to the local market and how the brand keeps the same soul and how it changes from clothes, I would say. Like, for example, Nike is global, but in my country, Belgium, they might use a Belgian football star in their ads on or change the price to fit our markets. But it's still about being global in vision, but local in execution. And like I said, I am from Belgium, and as a strong example, you can take me. I'm just a guy from Belgium who loves music, fashion, and trends. But look at me today. I'm wearing Nike shoes. I have an iPhone in my pocket, and so in Belgium we still have local brands. So why do I choose these global giants? And that is where global marketing wins. So how could we describe that victory? I would say, but first it's about the dream. When I wear Nike, I'm not just wearing shoes or clothes. I'm wearing the same brand as LeBron James, for example. Nike's marketing connects me to a global culture that is bigger than just me or my city or my country. They don't just sell me a product; they actually sell me a lifestyle that works in any country in the world. And yeah, so secondly, it's also about the guarantee. People in 20, sorry, people in 2026, we want things that works. I know that my iPhone that I bought in Brussels is the exact same quality as an iPhone bought in Montreal, for example. So global marketing creates a contract of trust, I would say, and their message is consistent everywhere. So I never have to worry about the quality. And finally, it's also about the identity. Global brands are a universal language. So if I travel to another country, my Nikes and my iPhone will tell people who I am even before I speak. So that's quite interesting. And but we have to notice that marketing strategy like Nike and Apple are everywhere, like everyone knows. And there is also a social media feed, like they just said, that is sponsoring festivals, and that's also um, that is also how can I say that, sponsoring influencers that I follow personally. So yeah, they are global, but they feel like they are right here in Belgium with me, and that is the power of global marketing. It takes a simple product and turns it into a global icon that anyone, anywhere wants to own, actually. So yeah, that's it for global marketing.
That was really good. And it's really very much in connection with partnerships as well. So when we're talking about um, global marketing and like really having that connection between um, brands and like how it can like really span within the global scene and how it can like partner with. Um, or make slight connections with like on the emotional level and really get down to it. And that's what partnerships are all about. It's about almost like connecting a heart to heart to brand, or it can be a heart to like a person and the brand. And so partnerships, I will be going over that one. And so why is it so important that partnership marketing is effective in 2026? So there's three key areas. So that is audience trust, it is cost efficiency, and it's cultural relevance. And so first, audience trust and community crossover. So in 2026, audiences are more selective than ever. Algorithms are saturated, ads are constant, and attention is limited. People don't automatically trust standalone brands anymore, or messaging. They trust communities. So they trust brands that are endorsed, aligned with, or associated with other brands that they already value. Partnership marketing works because it allows brands to tap into warm audiences instead of cold leads. And when two or aligned organizations collaborate, it's more than just like sharing exposure, it's sharing credibility. That credibility shortens that trust gap. It increases engagement. And instead of interrupting audiences, partnerships integrate into the spaces where people already feel connected to. Second, cost efficiency and trust and shared resources. Marketing costs continue to rise in 2026, especially in digital advertising and live activations. Live activations are huge at the moment right now. Um, Partnership marketing offers a smarter alternative. So rather than increasing ad spend, brands can share budgets, creative assets, mailing lists, venues, production teams, and distribution channels. This makes campaigns more sustainable. Two brands working together can produce something larger and more impactful than either one could ever do alone and without doubling costs. It also reduces risk. When responsibility and investment are shared, experimentation becomes more possible. And finally, we're going to get into cultural relevance and alignment. So today's consumers are deeply very aware and very about values, and whether that's sustainability, equity, innovation, or creativity. Partnerships are most effective when they're rooted in shared missions rather than surface level promotion. So when brands collaborate intentionally, apologies, they create experiences that feel culturally relevant. Instead of just selling a product, they want to create a moment. And in 2026, moments matter more than just messages. And overall, brands that succeed are not necessarily the loudest or the most visible, they're the most collaborative. And partnership marketing works because it builds trust, it stretches resources, and creates meaningful value-driven connections. So we're gonna have Ava get into email marketing, and that is very much aligned with partnerships because it allows another extension of how to connect to your audiences.
Perfect. So email marketing is a really powerful direct-to-consumer tool, especially in 2026. It really drives engagement through, targeted personalized messaging and helps to build that trust with the consumer, which I think is something a lot of people touched on already and the various marketing channels. It's a relatively cost-effective channel and delivers a really high return on investment. It's an easy way to reach people, but there's kind of no bound to, how many people you can reach and kind of the return that you can see. It's built of a database of people that are already interested in your brand in some capacity, whether they've, bought from you or visited your website. So, they already have some general interest. So it really acts as a tether to your consumers and as a customer relationship management tool. It helps to build a sense of community and feel like you have more of a personal relationship with the brand. However, it definitely is a careful balance of maintaining that relationship and staying relevant in their minds, but also not being annoying in their inbox. I'm sure all of you guys get so many emails a day, and sometimes you just like spam the delete button and don't really read them. So it's really important that you stand out and offer something, whether it be something that's based off of their browsing history or giving them like a 10% off to kind of incentivize them to keep coming back to your brand and show that you have a relationship with them. For me personally, any like email I get that's just for my promotions tab, I kind of ignore it. It just doesn't really feel personal to me. It feels like it went to everyone and that the brand, isn't speaking directly to me and my interests and needs. And I think that really ties back to the big idea of what's effective in 2026. I think consumers really just want to feel like they're understood and that the brand is aware of their needs and their interests. Kind of just echoing what everyone's already said, relationship building, authenticity, and trust are really at the core of marketing. And I think that's why email marketing is so powerful because it allows personalized targeted messages. And it's just a really, important thing in 2026 to feel like you're being understood and that the brand is really, kind of looking out for you.
Definitely for sure. Everybody made awesome points. There's definitely more to explore when it comes to marketing and how it's effective in 2026. For those watching, comment below. What do you think has definitely been like stand out to you? What have brands like done that has been the extra mile that you're like, whoa, like that was cool? Like and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more. So it's great talking to you.